Welcome to Top Tier Wrestling, your ultimate destination for all things AEW and WWE. Whether you're a hardcore wrestling fanatic or just a casual viewer, we've got you covered with the latest news, in-depth show reviews, and our unfiltered opinions on everything happening in the world of professional wrestling. Join us as we dive into the high-octane action, dramatic storylines, and backstage buzz of AEW and WWE. Get ready to step into the ring with us and stay on top of the wrestling world. This is Top Tier Wrestling. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Top Tier Wrestling Podcast. I am your host and overlord, Don Strowman. With me, as always, my partner in crime, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. Is Kurt Angle from Wish? If you know, you know. Folks, folks, we've got a knob knocker of a show for you tonight. It was a bangerang. We're covering Monday Night Raw for May 5th. So how's about we get into it?
Kurt Angle from Wish.
Hey, you gotta do it one more time. Kurt Angle from Wish.
Kurt Angle from Wish.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
Yes. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Hey.
All right.
Get the double clap.
I'll just say up front, this episode was pretty much a banger.
Not gonna lie, it did bang.
There was the banging.
Much banging.
Maybe not that much banging. But to start us out in a bangerang way, the show opens with main event Jey Uso come into the ring, and so everyone's yeeting their brains out. Pat McAfee's like, Omaha is going to yeet itself to death. And Jey makes his way down to the ring. The crowd's now super hyped up. He is such a good way to open a show. Like, you will get the crowd popping immediately.
He's including the kids. They're losing their shit. It's amazing.
Yeah, he gets it.
He does. He absolutely does.
He makes his way into the ring, and he lets everyone know that main event Jey Uso is now in your city.
Yeah. No. Come on. You got to do it. You got to do it. You gotta do the main event. Jey Uso is now in your city. You gotta get crazy with it.
I think you did it better than I would. I'll just follow that up with yeet. And he says, look, I'm here. I know Logan Paul is here, so let's stand on business. Where you at, Oos? And instead of getting Logan Paul, we hear,
ladies and gentlemen, and the audience are like, okay, they're like fucking losing their shit. Everybody's a bobblehead because Paul Heyman is coming out. I don't blame him. The man is the GOAT, right?
They do, right, but it immediately turns to boos.
Yeah. Explosion and then boos because, you know, he's supposed to be a heel right now, which I fucking disagree with. We'll get into that later. Anyway, Paul Heyman comes out with his, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And he continues with, I came here tonight not to disrespect the World Heavyweight Champion, main event Jey Uso, but I dragged myself all the way down here tonight to Omaha, Nebraska. He did not sound happy about that when he said Omaha, Nebraska. Because I wanted to say something straight to the face of the World Heavyweight Champion, main event Jey Uso. That's a long fucking name.
That is a long name, but Paul Heyman wanted to get all up in that grill for what he had to say.
Yeah. Now, I'm not he made some excellent points, and I'll just tell you. So Jey Uso, once he sees Paul Heyman entering the ring, he's like, OG, you have a lot of balls stepping into a ring with me after what you just did to my family. Now, I know the first thing I thought when he said that was, you joking, right? I mean, no disrespect, main event, Jey Uso. However, do we remember, not even 2 years ago, super kicks to the face for Roman, challenging him for the waffle laffa. Do we not remember you going after the falafel? Like,
Not the Laffy Taffy.
yeah, do we not remember the Laffy Taffy comp? We don't remember this. You coming out in all white and you got like what do you mean? What do you mean him? Now, Paul Heyman does exactly what I had hoped he would do with the "so you're gonna lecture me about betraying our tribal chief Roman Reigns," right? And Jay says, I am. I'm gonna talk to you because from day one I saw past you. I warned my cousin about you. I warned Sam Punk about you too. I'm like, you messy. That's what I thought to myself. But anyway, Paul Heyman breaks it down better than I could have ever hoped to. And I mean, I can't expect nothing else from the GOAT. You know, I mean, Paul Heyman is the mic god of WWE. But he basically breaks it down exactly how me and I think even Josh believes, which is or the way he sees it, which is he did not betray either one of them. He broke down the fact that CM Punk was manipulating the situation, basically so that Paul Heyman had no choice but to betray or look as if he was betraying Roman Reigns. So he put him in a very fucked off position. On top of that, Roman Reigns, he even brought up the fact that Roman Reigns, once he lost the belt, he left. And he left Paul Heyman in the hands of Solo Sikoa and the rest of the freaking psychos, right? He even like all the Tonga Low and Low Blow and Tommy Tui, all of them. He left them. He left Paul Heyman in their hands. Paul Heyman even brought that up. He brings up the fact that Roman, like Paul even says that he built the bloodline, like the way, like the OG bloodline, he built that, and people were booing, and I'm thinking, where's the lie there? Yeah. Where's the lie there?
He
Roman Reigns couldn't function without seeking advice from the wise man. So what y'all booing about?
Yeah, he made some epic points about like his so-called best friend putting him 100% guaranteed situation to sabotage his relationship with the chief. And then he went on to say, what did Roman think I was going to do? Sell him out to Punk after I spent 5 years building the bloodline? Yeah, I was just because these points are so good and so salient.
I was literally about to read that you just wrote.
Go ahead.
But no, I mean, you just read it. But I mean, that's exactly that. Like why would Roman think that just because he wanted to help his friend, that all of a sudden he's betraying everything that he has put together with the bloodline? Like, are you outside of your mind? Like, I absolutely agree with him. I absolutely agree with everything that Paul Heyman said. But after, like, once he made all of his points, he just kind of went off. Like, he just went on. He started screaming. Like he said, I'm always a liar. I'm always at fault. I'm the betrayer. I'm the double crosser. I'm always the freaking scumbag in the situation. Not this time. I'm right. I'm right. I'm in the right. And you blame me? Screw you, and screw each and every one of you for booing me, he says to the audience. Like, he goes off. And then Jey Uso goes, are you okay? As a matter of fact, are you done? As a matter of fact, I got another question for you, OG. What does this have to do with me? Now, Paul Heyman apologized to him for going off, and he said it has nothing to do with you, not that part. He didn't come out there to talk about Roman Reigns and CM Punk. He did come out to talk to Jay about Jay, and to let Jay know that he won the title, because that title, he won it, but as far as Paul was concerned, he doesn't understand what it represents. Like, Paul says that that belt is about power and control, and honestly, he didn't know if Jay could wield the power and control. Like he's basically saying that he's not cut out for the belt. However, Oh, and he said he also let him know he wants to be the champion. Like he let Jay know that he wants to be the champion, but Seth freaking Rollins has to be the champion. Like basically he's saying that Seth is cut out for that belt. Jay is not. And he's not taking away from the fact that Jay is a great champion. He's not taking away from the fact that Jay Uso is a fantastic wrestler. He's just saying that belt, like Jay comes out and he does, he comes out every night and he's yeeting with the audience and putting on the best in-ring performance, and he thinks that that's all that it takes. But that's not what that title's about, according to Paul Heyman.
Nope.
So while you need the heart of it to be the champion, and while you want to be the champion, he says Seth Rollins has to be the champion. Seth Rollins has to have that power. He has to have that control. And Braun Breaker, well, that was a stage 1 of their plan. Like, so all of that was stage 1. Stage 2 is getting the title. And so he came out tonight to basically do Jey Uso a favor. He says, I'm going to let you sign your own death warrant. I'm going to let you pick the night that you lose the World Heavyweight Champion. Because Jey Uso, Seth freaking Rollins, hereby challenges you to the World Heavyweight Championship. He pinned Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. He beat Roman Reigns in CM Punk. You know he deserves to be the number 1 contender. The favor is this. You pick the time, you pick the place. Because Seth Rollins will fight you for that title anytime, any place. So, he throws the mic. He's about to leave the ring.
Mic drop.
Yeah, he throws it behind him because that's how he rolls. Jey Uso goes, whoa, 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 OG, hold up now. Omaha, can you help me out?
Yeet.
But he did just say, anytime, any place, anywhere for the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth freaking Rollins. Well, Omaha,
yeet.
It's on tonight. 4 letters, 1 word, yeet.
Yeet. Man.
Great opener. That's the show. We're good. Good night, everybody. Everybody pack up, go home.
Excellent episode of Raw. Oh wait, there was more stuff. Oh right.
Oh yeah. So the audience, right, and then we cut to Paul Heyman, going backstage into Seth Rollins' locker room.
Wait. How was the audience again? That sounds accurate.
Yeah, they were screaming and bobbleheading all over the place. They were just freaking losing shit because Jey Uso was up there and he just said 4 letters, 1 word, yeet. Okay, so he just said the magic thing and everybody's losing their shit. So then we cut to Paul Heyman walking to the back, looking like, oh no, whatever should I do? Damsel in distress, And he goes backstage and he meets up with Seth, and then his demeanor changes and he basically says, he fell for it. So we hear that it's basically that this whole thing was a ruse. And it was a ruse. And so I made fun of it in my head when I watched this last night. But just in case the audience didn't understand why this was like a ruse or why he was like why this was a bad thing for Jey Uso, Paul Heyman explained what was going on, but he did so to Braun Breaker instead. So Braun Breaker would be us in this particular scenario. And so Paul Heyman explains essentially that Rollins got into a match with Roman Reigns, who was ready, who knew that he was going to be in a match with Seth. He got into a match with CM Punk, the same, and he beat both of them. And they were ready. So he's saying that Jey Uso, although he is a fantastic champion and a wonderful wrestler, he ain't ready for Seth freaking Rollins. So it was basically a done deal as far as all the 3 amigos were concerned. So that's why this would be a doomsday situation for or an apocalypse situation for Jey Uso on Monday Night Raw.
Indeed. Yeah, this segment was pretty brilliant. I liked the masterminds all colluding, and it's like I told you so is my favorite thing to say. So if you indulge me, I told you so. and
Yeah.
just brilliant. It definitely lent to, you know, the masterminds at work, and that Seth is indeed the architect. It was
Architect.
great.
Yes, yes. Let's go. Let's keep playing that. I love it. Seth Free. I'm telling you, he's my favorite heel right now. All about it. Favorite heel. John Moxley. Take notes. This is how you do a heel turn. This is brilliant. Even if I don't, you know what? I say a heel turn, but I can't really call it a heel turn. It doesn't. This does not feel like a heel turn to me. This just feels like Seth Rollins.
Yeah, but this is Seth Rollins, like being absolutely Seth Rollins, like
Yes,
full
like
ascension Seth Rollins.
yes, like he fully believes in what he's doing. So I don't think he sees himself as a heel, and I don't see him as a heel either. Um, and I like Roman Reigns. You know, I'm about Roman Reigns, and you know, CM Punk. He's okay. Anyway, that leads us into the first match of the night.
Indeed. And before we get to there, I just wanted to speak to like the Seth Rollins thing, and to a lesser extent, Paul Heyman got to elaborate like that from his perspective. He did nothing wrong, and while we hear heels all the time say that kind of crap or "I'm the victim," he actually made a compelling case. So this is an interesting thing, kind of like the same way in Avengers with Thanos. Like, you know, he made a case. He didn't think he was doing anything wrong. Was it extreme?
Yeah.
Yes, but he felt like it was what needed to be done, and he was the only one that could do it. And that is exactly the position Seth Rollins has set himself up in. He even said as much to Sami Zayn the previous week. You know,
Yeah.
you and I both know this needs to be done, and there's nobody else for this job but me. And, you know, so legitimately, he's like, you know, I'm trying to give you a way to get out of the blast radius, and you don't want to take it, so you've made your bed. So
Yeah.
Seth Rollins is absolutely a righteous, you know, zealot at this point, and he can make a good, compelling case. That makes it interesting. Is that he wrong?
Nope.
When the reins were given to Reigns, you know, how did that work? And CM Punk was like 5 minutes ago, like working for a company that was trying to take us down and is a snake, as was proven with what he did to Paul Heyman. You know, look at how he treated his quote unquote super best friend. So they have an argument. It's not just I'm bad because I said so.
Yeah.
You know, it's fantastic. It makes for a very compelling story arc, and I'm
Yep.
here for it. I really like it.
Yeah. Yep. So good. So good.
So good.
But that leads us into our first match of the night, which was Penta versus JD McDonough with the Judgment Day. Of course, they're going to be with the Judgment Day. And I think they should also credit JD McDonough's head. So JD McDonough, his giant head, and the Judgment Day are going against Penta El Zero Miedo.
That's like Penta versus like 5 different people.
Exactly. Like he's got a 2-head, at least. No, probably more than that. Probably got like a 3-head.
Yeah, he doesn't have a 4-head. He has a 5-head.
Like just his whole dome. Like his whole dome is on swole. He's on like 60%. Like most skulls are like rocking like 40. He's like on 60. He's on 60 with his dome. 60 dome. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, he is 120% like head. Although you did make a nice compliment. You noted that the way he was wearing his hair, kind of like shoulder length, actually sort of made his head look normal size.
Yeah, no. His look, I make fun of JD McDonough, but in all honesty, he's not an unattractive dude. He's just got a super major big head, and his hair, the way that he he has striking features that could be attractive to some people. But his head, man, that dome. But his hair, the way he had it, that looks good. It looks good on him.
Yeah, I'll give McDonough grief, but I mean, I don't think we're alone in being happy that he wasn't like super dead injured. And he's been putting in the work, and
he earned them stripes.
He's showing out. He also showed up like looking in great condition, like physically. Like he looks like he's been hitting the gym, you know. So All right, that's enough compliments for McDonough. I don't want to let it go to his giant head.
Nah, come on. He's all right. Like no, honestly, I can feel the vibe on McDonough changing. Um, and I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah,
because people saw that dude that was an amazing feat. And if he hadn't earned his stripes before then, he certainly did that night. Um, so it's well worth people singing his praises. And I know that I make fun of his head, but like his hair, I honestly do think that his hair looks good the way that he had it. And I mean, he's not Pac, right? Sorry,
yeah.
Pac. I'm sorry, but Jesus Christ, he's not Pac. So he's not terrible. He's not a terrible looker. It's just that
No, yeah.
dome.
He doesn't have gremlin face like Finn Balor or
No,
the Bastard Pack.
no,
Um,
little gremlin face.
Now, this was an interesting match too because, like, if you remember the week before, right, you had Dominic Mysterio versus Penta, which is kind of what sets this stage for this
Yeah,
match tonight. And in that match, you and I both watched Carlito kind of throw the apple in such a way that it looked like it allowed Penta to get some advantage.
yeah.
I, but I didn't see that similar kind of thing play out tonight, so I'm not sure because that led us to some speculation that like, oh, is Penta and Dom like setting some stuff up behind the scenes behind Finn Balor's back?
Yeah, I
But
think
I didn't really pick that up on this one.
I didn't either, but we can't say that they could be still working on something because sometimes they'll throw something out in one match and then kind of leave it or just kind of leave it just laying out there for like a couple of weeks or so and then revisit it with something else. So if they were going that route, they might have just put that in there just in case they go that route. Or if they decide to do another or break away from that and go somewhere else, I think that maybe that could have just been like a little Easter egg, like just in case, because
Yeah.
maybe they don't know exactly if they're going to go that route yet. Maybe they're waiting to see what somebody else is going to do, or maybe they're waiting for more information, or whatever the case.
Or they're just teasing it but leaving you in suspense. That's a
Yes,
possibility as well.
yeah.
Um, I will say of this match, it was a really good match. Like JD McDonough looked good, and him and Penta worked well together.
They do. Yeah,
Um,
I could watch them go at it. That did not sound right. I could watch them have a match. Like anytime. It was great.
yeah. So, by contrast, Santos Escobar did not do a good match with Ray Phoenix, but Penta and JD put on a banger. As far as the in-ring work, it was fantastic. And just to point at a couple of neat highlights, there was a point that JD McDonough, near the end of the match, goes for a moonsault and literally it's a gorgeous belly flop to the to the mat. Like it was fantastic.
The
I'm
plop
like,
was
how
so
do you do
real.
that? How do you just flip and belly flop into something as hard as the
The
mat?
plop,
That's
bro.
crazy.
The plop on that mat was so legit. It was so like cartoon anime plop. It was amazing.
It was. It was really, really good. There was also a point where McDonough hit Penta with a Death Valley driver on the ring apron that looked just sick.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice. Now the announcers, I think, miscalled it. They were like, they dropped him on his head. They're saying that
Yeah.
while we're watching it in slow motion, and
Well, like,
Penta took the whole thing on his back. So it's like, come on, guys, like we're
yeah,
looking at it.
yeah. Not even upper shoulders. It was the back, like the whole back, man. It wasn't like it wasn't just his head. What? Okay. Like, and they're right in front of you
Yeah.
guys. By the way, I want to point that out. They're right in front of the commentator's desk when they said that. So what? Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. So just to kind of summarize, really good match between these two. Inevitably, Finn and Carlito start to interfere, but that's not the extent of all of the interference. We also end up at a certain point where Penta's dealing with Finn and Carlito, but also Chad Gable shows up. Not El Grande Americano, but Chad Gable. And
Well, yeah.
so
Why would El Grande Americano show up? Like, they're not the same person. Like, the Chad Gable
No,
showed up.
I know, but I thought there was heat between Penta and
Oh, I see.
Grande Americano, and why then is Chad Gable showing up? So,
Well,
um,
yeah. If I know El Grande Americano, it's probably because he had prior engagements, probably doing something like helping the community in some way, and Chad
Oh,
Gable
yeah.
was there to just in defense of his friend because he's done that before. He was even wearing a
Mm.
shirt in support of El Grande Americano, and
That's valid. He wasn't there to put up with the diss on El Grande.
yeah,
I see. I
yeah,
see.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
he's a big fan. Well, I mean, he's American made. It's El Grande Americano. Those two, I mean, it makes sense. They would like
yeah.
each other, or at least Chad would. I don't know how El Grande Americano feels about Chad Gable and his table.
Yeah,
Um,
well, we all. I mean, come on, Chad. Like El Grande Americano, like loves everybody unless you're disrespecting the craft. In
of
which
of
case,
Lucha Libre.
yeah, in which case he does not. He does not appreciate that. So
No, that's fair. Uh, but despite all of the interruptions, because I thought, oh man, we're heading to this being a DQ match. It wasn't. Penta manages to fight off all of the different interfering factors, and shortly after McDonough did that El Grande belly floppo with the moonsault, um, Penta, like as he's recovering, rushes him from the corner and hits just a gargantuan Mexican destroyer. It was extra big because JD's head is ginormous. And that is how he goes for the pin and picks up the victory. The Mexican
yeah,
destroyer looked phenomenal, by the way.
yeah. Put a hole in the mat. They
Yeah.
had to
Yep.
have a very long commercial break where they had to repair the JD McDonough dome-sized hole that was in the mat.
I was worried. I'll be perfectly honest. When I saw him setting up for the Mexican destroyer, I was like, "No, that's going to be like the moon crashing into the Earth." But it wasn't as apocalyptic as I thought. But man,
Why
it
did you
was
say
huge.
that? Oh, that. Why did you say that like Marvin the Martian?
I don't know. It just was
Oh
just what came
dear.
to me. Oh dear. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
But a surprisingly good opener match, and it was good to see JD McDonough back in action, and he put on a great match with Penta. I'm watching with interest these developments with the Judgment Day, and as long as they're also keeping giving us good matches, I'm here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So remember when we were concerned that the Judgment Day wouldn't be able to stand without Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley?
I do, and I'm really glad that they have found a route to stand on their own.
Yeah.
And that they're keeping it interesting. I'm really here for that. I also like low key love everybody else having gold. I mean, Carlito doesn't count, but everybody else that matters in the Judgment Day having gold
Yeah.
except Finn, and it's like it's needling him, and I think that's hilarious.
Yeah. Which making me happy. Uh so yeah,
Indeed.
so the winner of this match was Penta. Yeah, by pinfall. And it was a great match as Josh Alexander just stated.
Kurt Angle from Wish.
Love it. All right. So after that, we see Grayson Waller talking to Adam Pearce backstage, and he's trying to talk his way out of his previously scheduled singles match, that night. So then Austin joins the conversation, and Theory wants to know where Waller's been, and Waller admits to being a bad teammate last week, and he wants to give Theory the singles match opportunity. So Pearce ain't buying that bullshit. He's not buying the narrative that Waller's a good teammate, but he reluctantly agrees to the terms. Theory, and Waller says that it's better for him to find out in the ring because Waller is a little Wally piece of shit.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like they're strongly. I know this was said, but like they've been teasing the breakup of Waller in Theory, but I think we're closing in on it.
Yeah. So that led to the second match of the night, which was, and I was kind of excited.
Who was Austin Theory's super mysterious mystery opponent?
Sheamus!
Yay!
Yay!
It's fight night,
Baby! So,
baby.
and it was great to see Sheamus. This match went exactly as I'm sure you all knew. The only person that, the only person that wasn't excited to see Sheamus in the ring was Austin Theory. Who was looking at Waller like, motherfucker, for real?
Yep. And Waller was like, "I must avoid eye contact."
Yeah, and Waller kept going like, man, this floor over here looks really interesting. Um, oh man, the back of my hand, cool. Meanwhile, every chance that Austin got, he kept looking at Grayson like,
You
for
son
real?
of a bitch.
Yeah, you for real? You for real? Are we for real right now? Okay. So, and I mean, it was warranted because Sheamus whooped Austin's ass. Now, it was not as one-sided as I thought it was going to be, and I'm happy about that because I know that he's playing a part or whatever, and like he's playing a role. But Austin Theory can go in the ring.
Yeah.
And I mean, he used to have the freaking belt, and I know, he's got this stigma on him for some freaking reason because he was Vince McMahon's pick or a Vince guy or whatever, as if that's his freaking fault.
Yeah,
When all
right,
this
like-
dude just wanted to do was get a freaking spot, man. Just get a
he
shot.
just wants
That's
to
it.
succeed as a pro wrestler.
As everyone else that's in the ring, like everyone who's taking this serious, that's what he's doing, you know. But apparently, I'm just speculating. I don't even know if that's why. I mean, but that's the only thing I can think of. It's like he's being punished for something. I don't know, but maybe this is signaling. Wow, let's try that word again. Signaling. Did that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with it. Maybe a turn in how he's being booked. And maybe the same thing for Grayson Waller, because Grayson's not a slouch. Again, these are dudes that were like, Grayson was a powerhouse in NXT. He comes here, they immediately put him in a tag team. They give him the belts for like a week, and then okay, I'm exaggerating. It wasn't that short, but I just feel like they've done both of these dudes dirty. So I'm hoping that they get their comeuppance real soon. And I don't mean we wish you luck on your future endeavors, comeuppance. I mean, you know what I mean, like, because I mean they're just dropping people out there, you know.
Well, because I mean that would be a.
I don't know Austin Theory's sexual orientation, but let me quit being messy. All I'm gonna say is, you know, just watch your back, Austin, because if they're coming for certain people of the rainbow.
No. I don't. Yeah. I don't know if that applies here or not.
I don't know. I don't know if it does either. But if you are my guy, just I'm just saying, protect.
Well, I'll say this: if they do end up wasting Waller in Theory, then that's exactly what it is wasting them. Because both of these guys are young, they're talented, they're hungry. You put them through their paces. You humbled them by showing, by making them work, low angles and okay, they've been hazed. Let's see something pop for these guys now.
Seriously, like they've done their time. Whatever the case is, they've done their time. Maybe you guys get your thumbs off of them now. But we'll see. But this match went about as you would expect. Sheamus, who even admitted that it's been a minute since he's done this, was kind of looking, kind of sweaty, maybe a little bit extra pale, and for some reason the camera just lingered on his face while he was struggling to breathe at one point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cameraman, can we not witness his up close death? Can you back up, please?
No, he was definitely winded, and there was a point where he was saying, like, loud enough that you could hear him. He was saying, "It's been a minute, and he's sitting there catching his breath.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, his cardio needs some work. And Sheamus, I don't know what you be doing when you have time off, but you need to quit. Stop it.
Just like burger after burger.
Like stay your ass. Look, still go to the gym, dude. Like I don't know what it is you doing, but stop. Because every time you leave and you come back, you got me nervous. I'm just scared to watch you.
To be fair, they constantly harp on the fact that it doesn't matter. You could do cardio in the gym, you could work out, and Sheamus looked good. Don't get me wrong. And he wasn't carrying like any more weight than he always carries when he's performing. But to be fair, they do make the point that nothing prepares you like in-ring action, but in-ring action, and
he needs to stay in ring. He needs to stay ring ready.
I hear you, but he hasn't had a match in a minute, so okay, I think that's what he was saying.
But but they're still training facilities. Like, he still has the ability to go and do his thing, and he didn't. That's my. I don't. You know what? I don't know if he did or not. But he said it's been a minute. All I'm saying is you got the opportunity. You have the ability to keep yourself ring ready. And why aren't you? You should be. Like, at any second, you're gonna get that call up. I know. He just got married. Like, he's still in newlywed mode. Maybe that's how he was getting his cardio. But whatever the case, you can't be coming back to the ring and then the cameraman looking all close like, are we about to witness a death? This will be amazing television. Like, you just, Sheamus, stop it.
Right. Does Sheamus look somehow paler?
He did. He was all. He was so sweaty. He was so moist. He was so moist. I kept grabbing Kleenex and like dabbing at the screen. It was so rough. I got my little Kleenex box right here, and I'm like, no, please, Sheamus, God, please.
I mean, it wasn't Samoa Joe on AEW Dynamite though. That dude was literally a faucet running. I mean,
Samoa was so like if you wrung him out,
he wasn't moist. He was soaked. He was a monsoon of water out of his head.
That was Monsoon Joe. Yeah, that he was pretty juicy. Sheamus. Sheamus, not as juicy, but definitely moist. Like, definitely moist. Like roast moist. Like, moist, tender roast. It's just, yeah, not juicy though, but moist. But there should be no surprise that Sheamus, after 10 beats of the Bodhrán and connecting with the Brogue Kick, wins this match. Afterwards, however, and the camera didn't. We only heard the announcers or the commentators talking about it. We only heard them mention that Sheamus. I'm sorry, not Sheamus, but Waller and Theory were having a tiff outside the ring after the match about what had taken place. What?
Not a tiff.
They were having a tiff. I didn't say what I was gonna say.
Not the lover's quarrel.
You took it out of my face hole.
That sounds like something Waller might say to Theory.
Oh, shots fired. Again, we're just joking. We're just joking, guys.
Just being messy.
Yeah, just ribbing. But yeah, so we didn't see it, but they were having an argument, so I'm pretty sure that they're going to revisit that situation come next Monday. And I'd love to see it. But winner, Sheamus, via pinfall.
Indeed. And real quick before we move on, I would like to say that both Theory and Sheamus, despite the fact that Sheamus was, and maybe he was playing it up, that he was like winded, but either way, Sheamus looked good. His Irish curses on Theory looked fantastic. The Brogue Kick looked good. The avalanche white noise that he got off on Theory looked disgusting. Yeah. And similarly, Theory's roll through blockbuster looked fantastic. His drop kick looked picture perfect. So both guys are looking great. But it is, as you say, pretty much Sheamus beat the brakes off of Austin Theory. Yeah. Just straight up got the Brogue Kick. Like, no dodging out of the way, no false finish. Just there went your face. Enjoy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, but I mean, even though Austin got his ass removed from his body and placed delicately in his hands, it was still a good match. And I mean,
that painted a very specific picture.
Just like ribbon, like Sheamus went to the apron and found a ribbon underneath the ring and tied it around Austin's ass, and then came back into the ring and placed it in his hands gently.
A gift.
Yeah, a gift. And there you go. And so and I think that's probably why they didn't show us Austin and Grayson arguing on the apron there, because they would have had to have shown Austin holding his ass cheeks in his hand.
Yeah,
and
they would
being
have
very
censored
upset.
that.
Yeah, and they didn't want to do all that. So anyway,
Yeah.
after the match, we find out that Dominic Mysterio will be putting his WWE Intercontinental Championship on the line against Penta at Backlash. Hey,
All right. So the Backlash card is shaping up. What do we have?
yeah,
5 confirmed matches on that?
I believe so. So we're getting it. I mean, you think there's gonna be more added, or you think that's it?
Well, if they did add, it'd probably just be one more, and it should be noted that presently Jey Uso isn't booked, so I imagine they're going to end up setting up something with that.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, no, I thought they did. I thought that was Logan Paul and Jey Uso at Backlash.
That's the thought, but the last thing I had read about it is it's still not officially booked.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's got to be the last one. That's got to be it.
I would think so. What we have confirmed is Cena versus Orton, Becky Lynch versus Valkyria for the Intercontinental Championship, Gunter versus Pat McAfee, Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest in a fatal 4-way for the U.S. Championship, and Dominic Mysterio versus Penta for the IC belt. So that is the official card as of this moment in time.
Well, I mean, they ain't got much time to make that happen.
Indeed.
It would have to be like Friday night or something. So, okay.
Yep. So we'll have to see how it goes. There was also something that occurred in the post show of tonight, but I'll speak to it as we get closer to that in our coverage.
Yeah. So after we find out about Dominic Mysterio, we go backstage where AJ enters the Judgment Day clubhouse. And he knew where it was because R-Truth gave him the directions. But he was there.
Nice of him.
Yeah, very nice. And we all know that R-Truth is going to be truthful. But he came there to give Dom a friendly warning. He doesn't care who wins at Backlash. He's coming for the Intercontinental Championship. Dominic calls AJ an old man, and AJ's looking forward to finally beating up Dominic. Then Dominic starts complaining about how hard it is being a champion. He looks at Finn, who's been looking away this entire time, like just kind of in his own head, like upset, you know. And he says that Finn should take care of AJ since they have a history with each other. And Finn gets angry for a moment, or he apparently plays getting angry, quote unquote. He's joking about being angry because he had to clean up Dom's mess, but he's just playing mind games with Dom and agrees to take out AJ for him.
Yeah, he's just kidding.
Yeah, he's just rabble rousing. He's just joshing.
I see what you did there. Kurt Angle from
No, that's just when you say Josh Alexander.
Yeah, you got to say the whole name.
Is Kurt Angle from Wish? Okay. After that, Chad Gable runs into the New Day in the backstage area, and he's like, "I'm not." He just immediately tells them, "I'm not here for it. I don't want to hear bullshit." But then they're like, "Hold on, bruh." Kofi Kingston says that it's time for Gable and the American Made to get some respect around here. Xavier Woods agrees. He suggests that the Creed brothers should get a shot at the World Tag Team titles instead of the War Raiders. And while they're having that discussion, and Chad is liking the sound of that, he wants to hear more about that. While they're having that discussion, Becky Lynch comes up in the middle of them. And Xavier says that it's messed up what Lyra Valkyria did to her last week, which I found hilarious.
Hilarious.
Becca says, "Thank you." Look, it's hilarious to see these heels like all bonding in their healery, and how Becky is so
Becky's
victimized.
The victim. Yeah, she's
She looked
so
at them
the
like,
victim.
She looked at them like, "Thank you for being so understanding," and I'm like, "Oh my god, stop it." But then she says, "Thank you." She starts making her way towards the ring, which led us into our Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria segment. And man, I don't have much to say except for Lyra cooked. Lyra pulled out the fanciest portable oven she could find, the fanciest portable grill from Monster Hunter, and old girl sat down in her makeshift tent
Yep.
and made the most exquisite. She cooked. She had the steak.
Yeah.
She had the shrimp. She had the Eastern honey. Look,
And the little peppers.
and the little bite. Look, she cooked. I'm not saying Becky didn't cook, but Becky always cooks on that mic. That's why they
Yep.
give Becky that mic. Becky can talk the talk.
Yeah, so
And
when
Lyra
Becky-
said, "So can I, bitch."
yeah, this was a good showing for Lyra Valkyria. Essentially, Becky comes out and the crowd's like, "You suck," and she's like, "Wait, why? Why am I the bad guy?"
Yeah.
I took out Bailey, but she's trash, so I took out the garbage. And
Yeah,
so
you don't get mad
should
when somebody
say-
takes out the garbage. You should say
Yeah,
thank you
you
for
should
taking
say
out the
thank you.
garbage.
Yeah, and not only that, she says she took out the recycling because that's what Lyra is. She's less offensive than regular garbage, but she's still garbage. And that shortly after, she also pointed out that Lyra has nothing if it wasn't for Becky. She doesn't have a dream. She doesn't have a title. She doesn't even have her fiance if it wasn't for her, which I think you told me is legit, right? Like Becky Lynch introduced her and her fiance.
Yeah, I thought I had heard in the rumor mill that Becky Lynch had introduced those two. So if that's the case, that's a cold shot. That is a
Indeed.
cold shot right there. Shots
Yeah.
fired.
And
Like
that
this.
brings out it was absolutely, and it was a shot that Lyra didn't appreciate because she immediately comes out and she says, "You called me recycling? You're the queen of recycling. You've been recycling the same moves and old tired act for years."
Ooh.
But she says, "That's cool. You do you. I don't care. What I have a problem with is you acting like you had anything to do with my success. You did not make me. Let me get you up to speed since you've been gone for a little bit. When you went on holidays, me and everyone else got better. You went on holidays and I made history of my own," and she's holding up her championship. And she says, "You're what this championship needs, right?" Because Becky is eyeballing that title pretty hard. And she says, "That's rich considering I've defended it more days than you've shown up to work this year. Ice cold.
Ooh. Ice
Yet
cold.
still burns."
Yeah,
and,
still ouch.
Yeah. And she says, "I see it clearly. Yeah, you shattered glass ceilings for women, and for that I'm forever grateful, but you left all the broken glass on the ground, and the rest of the locker room was just supposed to follow behind you because you never had any intention of taking anyone up to the top with you."
And Becky
Becky's
points
like,
out that, like, you're right. Yeah, like when I was gone, everybody else had their best years of their career, but it's only because they didn't have me to compare themselves to. And no, I didn't help anybody. I don't like anybody, and it's not my job to help anybody. It's my job to beat everybody, and I am very, very good at my job. In fact, I'm the greatest to ever do it, and it's not just me saying I'm the greatest to ever do it. Sports Illustrated says I'm the greatest to ever do it. So it doesn't matter how good you think you are, how good you'll ever be. You will only ever be the moment after the moment.
and Lyra
was
follows.
like, Go ahead.
She follows that up by saying, "Oh wow, Sports Illustrated said that. Well, I guess I'm wrong. I take it all back. Please, let's continue listing your achievements. I'll help you out. Let's not leave anything out. What can we say of Becky? Well, she's the first women's champion in SmackDown, the first woman to main event WrestleMania and win, first women's Intercontinental. Oh wait, that was me." And Becky's looking seething at this point, and Lyra says, "Oh, you hate it, don't you? You hate that this is my first. Well, get used to it, Becky, because as long as I'm here, I hope you like second place."
Yes. So Becky was like, you know what I like, but then she just fakes. She just like goes for a cheap shot, on Lyra, and Lyra blocks it. Then she freaking drops Becky with a spinning heel kick. Then she transitions into a ground and pound attack. Like, I mean, she, like, all hell is breaking loose. She's whooping that ass. Like,
she is
Valkyria,
whooping all of that ass.
she's clubbing. She's clubbing shoulder blocks. She tosses Becky around the ringside area. The referees intervene. They start like grabbing them and pulling them apart, and people are like, "Let them fight, let them fight," you know. But then Lyra breaks from the referees, uh, and then she punches Becky, I think, and Becky goes for the manhandle slam, but then Lyra lands back on her feet like it didn't work, and so she connects with the Nightwing to close the segment. Like she put the period on the end of that sentence, baby. Like she was, it was so good. That heat was good, but if my predictions are correct, that the person that's left on top before the next match, uh, if that's the case, then she's not gonna win. Like Becky's winning the belt, which has me a little nervous. Unless Becky came back just to put Lyra over as champ. If that's the case, then Lyra's gonna win this. And kudos to Becky. You know.
Yeah, I'm not sure it would be wisdom to have Lyra drop the belt so soon after getting it.
No, no way.
I normally fully agree with the prediction that like whoever's up on the last promo gets, is taking the loss, because that's not always true, but it's often true.
It's very often, yeah.
And
more often than not.
But somehow I'm not sure I see that being the case here. I mean, I think it would not be good for Lyra Valkyria to lose the belt so quickly.
I absolutely agree. So that's why it's got me nervous. See. I'm hoping that the latter of my prediction is the one that holds true. I hope that Becky is just coming back to put some of this talent over towards the end of her career, because I know she wants to focus real hardcore on her family and other acting gigs and whatnot. She kind of wants to slow things out. So maybe she's coming back for that. In which case, that's really awesome. And that just solidifies Becky for me yet again as being one of the GOATs in WWE.
Now, quick invitation to some speculation. Do you think Bayley comes back to interfere in this match in some fashion?
Oh, she absolutely is going to interfere. Absolutely. Like she didn't put Bayley out that hard. Bayley is gonna come back. I honestly feel she might even intervene in this match. Now I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's gonna end up disqualifying the match. I don't know if she's gonna do it like sneakily so that the ref doesn't see it. But in any case, this is gonna lead to a match, and I'm hoping an epic brawl between Bayley and Becky Lynch, because these are two of the GOATs, man. And I want to see Bayley go all out. Like, I want to see 2017 Bayley. That's what I want to see. So.
Well, here's my thought, right? Like, the immediate thought would be Bayley comes back and goes after the man, right? Because that's who attacked her. But if you remember, in the weeks leading up to that, like, there was a point where Bayley was starting to turn on Lyra as well.
Yeah.
So what if Bayley shows up, but she wildcard goes after both of them, and then later she explains, of course I attacked Becky Lynch because screw her, but you, Lyra, you lost the tag belts the 1 minute I was unavailable, and something, so what if it ends up being more of a, like, instead of it's Bayley and Lyra versus Becky, it's all three women versus each other for their own set of reasons?
That's possible, but I kind of hoping that that's not the case. I kind of hope that Bayley focuses on one and then the other, because I don't want them to keep doing don't do the trios matches over and over again. Like it's like now it's a 4-way match all the time, or a 3-way match.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of just want it to be Bayley versus Becky, and then later, Bayley versus Lyra. I think Lyra, I understand that they do this with big superstars now, and that's cool. But I think the storyline and these women, these wrestlers, because I think this is going to be a big deal. I believe that this match between Becky and Bayley should be a monumental match, and I don't think we need Lyra's interruptions for that. I think that should be a separate thing. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, I meant Lyra. We don't need Lyra in that match. We don't need her.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. What I was suggesting was less that it becomes a triple threat match, and more that, like, Bayley's interference is against both women, and then it's whoever recovers from that first that ends up taking the win.
What do you mean? What do you
Like
mean?
if
Whoever like not in a match, but you mean like Bailey attacking them, like backstage or something?
no, well, maybe that would be interesting too. But the possibility I was suggesting is suppose Bailey comes back and everybody immediately assumes Bailey's going after the man,
Right.
because it would make sense. And she attacks the man, but then she also gets a shot in on Valkyria, leaving both women laid out somehow. Like,
Right.
maybe when the ref got squashed at some
Yes.
point, so
No,
nobody can
no.
see.
I
And
absolutely
so it's
understand that.
oh, okay.
I, I'm saying that that would inevitably lead to a three-way match between them because that's what would happen. That's what happened with Io and Rhea and Bianca. That's what would happen here. Like Nick Aldis or whoever would come out and say, okay, well then all three of you have a match. The next whatever or on Raw or and I mean I can see that clear as day, and that's what I don't want. That's what I meant.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I just with regards to backlash is where I was heading, and so
Yeah.
I'm wondering like if Bailey comes out, does she interfere exclusively for the man, or does she maybe attack both because she had shown signs of turning on Valkyria a couple weeks before, and it probably will lead to a triple threat match. As much as I am kind of over like everything being a three-way and a four-way, they've only got so many spots and so much talent that
Yeah.
I think they've given in the goat on trying to fight that particular battle, and they're just like, we're going to book it how we book it.
Yeah, I think what is more likely to happen is because if Bailey comes out and just attacks Lyra, then that makes her a heel in the eyes of the audience again. And I don't think they're gonna do another heel right now. Like everybody's a Cylon, right? So I don't think they're gonna do another heel turn at this particular juncture. So I don't think that she's gonna attack. I don't think she would attack Lyra. I think she would go to Lyra face to face and say that she would like the opportunity to go for that belt, but I don't think she's gonna come out there
Mm.
and just attack her. I think she's gonna go out there and attack the shit out of Becky, unless unless she goes out there and interrupts the match, and so like and maybe Lyra takes offense to that, and then later on Lyra's upset about it, and so then she wants a match or something like. But I don't see Bailey coming out there attacking both because she'll attack Becky and the audience will go yay, and then she'll turn around and back attack Lyra and the audience will go boo, and then we're going, is she a heel now? And
Yeah.
WWE didn't like that in between, so I think they're gonna keep her as a face for now.
So what then are they doing with that? Like how she almost attacked Lyra? Was that just like a bad one-off, or are we all just expected to forget it?
No, no, you shouldn't forget it. Like what you saw there, I think that was them telling you that Becky, I'm sorry, not Becky, but Bailey intends to do the right thing. She was very upset about it, and then she thought about it and was like, I can't leave her like that. She goes back in, she gives her a hug, she gives her the support and all that, and then she leaves the ring. So we see that Becky, I'm not Becky, I keep saying Becky. We see that Bailey is trying to be the better person here. I don't think they're gonna have her come back after being attacked by Becky and go, and also another thing, I take back being a better person and attack Lyra. That would be weird for the audience. And again, WWE likes to keep things in absolutes, like separate. So what they're most likely going to do is have her go in and maybe even assist Lyra in some way. Like maybe Becky's about to do some underhanded shit that the ref doesn't see, and she's about to cheat, and then Bailey comes in and stops that, and then Lyra wins. She wins the match because of that. And then the next time we see them, which would probably be Monday Night Raw or something like that, next time we see them, Bailey walks up to Lyra, congratulates her. Lyra says, "Hey, thanks for the assist or whatever," and Bailey goes, "Well, it wasn't just because I was trying to be a good Samaritan. The last time you and I interacted, I showed or I expressed interest in the belt that you're holding, and I would like a chance, I'd like a shot at that belt, like, and there we go. I see that
Okay.
happening.
Interesting. Okay. I'm just curious that if that's just a dropped storyline for them, or if we're going to see Bailey fighting against like the dark side, because that's what it felt like to me. Was like, oh, Bailey's true intentions are showing, and then she had to force herself back to the other way, and inevitably the true intention will win.
Yeah, maybe, but I just don't see them making another heel turn right now. Especially this, like for Backlash, nah. And it wouldn't just be like a heel turn, like on a Monday Night Raw or something either. If Bailey had a heel turn, it would be after somebody else went back to the face side. I just don't, because I mean we got so many heels now.
Yeah, isn't it
Like
great?
it is, but this ain't NWO either. So like I don't think they'll make everybody a heel. I don't think it's Bailey's time. I think that they put that in our heads because inevitably we know that Bailey could go to a heel turn. She's done it before. Um, and we also know that she really, really, really wants that freaking belt. So I think she's just gonna do it. I think she's gonna do it the right way. And maybe if she doesn't, maybe she doesn't get the win after that. Maybe then she'll do a heel turn. But there's also kind of like talk in the rumor mill that uh that she's looking to leave WWE after her contract is up. So, but I mean that's like 2 years away, I think. So who
Yeah, I don't know.
knows?
Interesting stuff. I look forward to seeing how it plays out. Um, that said, that leads us into our third match, which was an excellent match between Io Sky and Roxanne Perez.
It was good. It was good, good, good. Roxanne, is she on the main roster now?
Yes, both her and Julia are
Roxanne,
confirmed call-ups.
Roxanne, welcome, girl, welcome. I am excited to see more of you in the ring. I've seen you in NXT, but again, I did not watch NXT um religiously. It's not an every Tuesday thing for me. And sometimes I'll just look at a match that I see online and not the whole show. So I'm not really versed in Roxanne as some other people would be. But what I have seen of her in WWE, like in the main roster so far, I am impressed. And she put on a banger of a match with Io Sky. It was so good. They're both equal in size, pretty much. Um, so it would it looked good. The moves looked good. I could not be I couldn't be any happier about this freaking match. And watching I mean I want to see Io and Roxanne again in the ring. Like I hope they keep this feud going.
Yeah, they both looked very good. This is more of Perez than I had seen, and so this gave me a good feel for how she can perform, especially as you pointed out, if she's in a good physical matchup where like she's fighting someone who's not too different from her in her own size.
Yeah.
And her and Io put on a real banger. Um, I was impressed. There were some really good looking moves in that. Like Io Sky has a gorgeous bridging German suplex. Like it is picture perfect.
Yeah.
And Perez just was on point with everything she was doing. There was no miscommunications. Um, they looked good together. They really did. And just to follow through with how the match ended up playing out a bit, after a fairly long back and forth match between the two of them, they ended up finishing out the match by going through a series of pins. And usually, sometimes that looks dumb, but this time it looked like it was literally two players that were like very well matched, like playing chess with each other as
I
they
agree.
went from one pin attempt to the next on each other until Sky finally got the one up. And so Sky gets the pin on Perez to pick up the victory after they had traded pinning predicaments with each other, about 4 or 5 times.
Yes.
And it was looking like we were like, wow, that was a really good match between those two. And after the match, Perez offers her hand to Sky, and we're like, oh, it's a trap. But then she just shakes hands and moves on. And Sky is sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, Perez is a real one," giving her props in the middle of the ring. But that's when Julia attacks her from behind, and you realize that the whole damn thing was a setup, and they proceed to like just beat down the women's champ Io Sky.
And there was no one there to help. So
no one, because Rhea's off in Australia at the moment. So yeah, they just had their way with the women's champ, and I want to say like Perez super kicked Io in the face while Julia, did like a bow and arrow stomp, and so it's like wow, these two women from NXT are showing up and making an impact, and I felt good about the fact that they got to be on the up this time. Because, if they always come out and attempt a cheesy attack but then get, beat up the minute the tide turns, it does not make them look as strong. So it was good that they took the champion to task and they tricked her and she fell for it. So now you know what's up when you're dealing with Perez and Julia, and you know that you are inevitably dealing with both of them.
Yep. Yeah. A better version of Penelope Ford and Megan Bain.
Oh, from AEW? Yeah. I agree. Yeah. But it was good. It was a good match that led into some cool storytelling, and it allowed Julia and Perez to have impact on the main roster. I was here for it. That was a really good one.
And that's also another, it's like more heels. So yeah, another reason I don't think that they're going to be giving Bayley the go-ahead for the heel turn just yet. But I agree that I did see it.
It's a heel party.
Yeah, I did see it in the distance there for her.
Now, there wasn't a whole lot of in between after that match leading into our next match.
Yeah, no, surprisingly.
Was the fourth match of the night, which is the recently arrived Rusev versus Otis with the Alpha Academy in tow. And how did you feel about this match and Rusev and whatnot?
I think as long as Rusev doesn't talk or cut a promo, he's great. But that doesn't make him a superstar, because I've always said that you got to be the total package. Like, that makes a superstar, especially in WWE. You can get away with just being a great wrestler in AEW, and for some reason they still kept wanting to put him with storylines. I'm not sure why, because they don't do that kind of stuff with like Roosh. They don't do that kind of stuff with oh god, what was his name? Listen, basically what I'm saying is there are dudes that just come there to just waffle stomp. That's it, a ruffle stomp, and I don't know why people want Rusev to say stuff. But
right?
I'm being dead serious. I don't know why they really want this dude to say shit, but it's unnecessary. Like, absolutely unnecessary. It takes away from the frightening physique whenever he opens his mouth and starts talking about being redeeming and saving people, and he wants to show Otis that Otis can be a killer too, and he does so by trying to kill Otis. I don't freaking know. I don't know what's happening.
Trial by fire.
Yeah, I guess. But this went like I had expected it to go. Now Otis is a strong freaking dude. I mean, he's probably one of the strongest dudes they have there. And again, the reins just will not come off of this dude for some reason. I even think that he has better mic work than Rusev, but they very seldom have him talk. But you see my point with them just wanting Rusev to say shit, and I'm not understanding why, because there's a lot of wrestlers they just don't do that with. They don't even give a lot of wrestlers mic time, but they just keep trying to get Rusev to say some shit that's gonna be coherent one day. And he's spoiler. It won't. Look, listen, guys, you're gonna wake up one day and go, "Oh, Rusev makes sense." And if you do, go to the doctor. Something's wrong. Go to the hospital immediately. If I wake up tomorrow and I look at a Rusev promo and I go, "Oh, okay, yeah, I totally understand," I'm then stopping whatever I'm watching and I'm dialing 911. because something's wrong. Something's wrong with my brain.
Something has gone wrong.
Yeah, this dude is not coherent. But I digress. We're not here to talk about his mic work. We're here to talk about his in-ring work, which was very satisfying. He destroyed Otis. I don't know what you guys want me to say. Otis, he gave a little. He gave a little. There was a time where he threw Rusev into the stairs. Like, he threw that dude into the stairs. It's just showing you how strong he is. Like, I mean, but it's about it, man. I mean, Rusev kind of destroyed him. And then, after the match, Akira, he comes into the ring and he's upset because Rusev beat his friend up, and he wants the smoke, so he rips off his shirt. But again, it takes him 30 minutes to rip his shirt because he's like ripping it in slow motion. And Rusev puts his hands up like he don't want the smoke, so he rolls out the ring. And then Akira turns his back on him, and then Rusev comes back into the ring, which I found was just overkill. Like, you could meet Akira head on. You do not have to wait for his back to be turned to pick him up to do anything. I'm gonna call cap on that. But he just overkilled. He overkilled by literally destroying Akira. So Akira's dead now, and then he dislocated Otis's spine. Yeah. Oh, good news! We did get to see Natalya again. She still exists. Remember that? Remember when she was a wrestler? Yeah.
Who?
Exactly. Tits McGee? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Natalya. She came out to pat Maxine on the back, and I got to yell "Kiss!" and it was great.
Nice. That's what we came to see.
Don't even act like it, guys.
No.
I don't want to hear from none of y'all that's listening. You know damn well if Natalya just went off and kissed Maxine Dupree, most of you, your bottom half would explode. And you'd be calling would be an influx of 911 calls.
Yeah, I've got no legs now. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, my legs flew off.
I will say of this match that we actually got to see some real slobber knocker stuff between Rusev and Otis. Like, Otis stepped up on this one.
Okay.
He did. Like, when they were outside of the ring, like, Otis clobbered him. He threw him over the announce table.
He did.
And then he came back and clobbered him with, like, some clubbing blows and, like, this spinning back fist that looked nasty.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as much of a just obliteration of Otis as it could have been.
But that was it.
Yeah, that was it. But I think that's all it needed to be.
Right, but what you were referencing there, that's what I was talking about too. When he threw him against the stairs, like he had a little stint. But I mean, if this match was 5 minutes long, that was about 45 seconds. Versus the rest of the match, where Otis got his ass again delicately sliced off and placed in his hand with a ribbon.
Yeah, I
agree.
I don't know. I felt like I saw Otis at least get to show off what he gets to show off. Like, of the times we get to see Otis, which isn't often, Otis usually looks like a total bitch. Here, there was some moments where Otis, like, shrugged off clotheslines from Rusev. There was a point where he did this, like, barrel roll out from under Rusev's clothesline. So, is it Otis, like, winning the match? No, it's not. But Otis, I felt, at least showed up. And this is against a guy that they're billing as being an absolute super monster. Like the last time I saw that, Otis was going against Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman ate him alive.
Yeah. They are just so, they're chomping at the bit to find someone to replace Brock Lesnar. They want that, and it's just, you guys, there ain't no replacing Brock Lesnar. And I mean that's just my opinion. But they want that big guy, and I don't know if Rusev is that guy, but I know that he looked pretty freaking destructive.
Yeah, and I will give a lot of credit to Rusev. I mean, mic work aside, because I think he's only cut like one promo in the WWE, and it
Yeah,
looks like he's trying to evolve whatever his Redeemer character is. It's like he's behaving like he's some sort of paladin or something, or like a fallen paladin even. And
he is really on that shtick. I'm not saying that it's bad, but he really, really loves it.
Yeah, and I think it's possible that he could make it work. Like, just in general, I don't think it's the worst idea I've heard for a character in pro wrestling, but he's got to be able to pull it off. But he definitely did not do that when we watched him in AEW attempting to get the Redeemer concept across. So who knows? If we'll see how it goes in WWE. But he's looking better than he's ever looked. Like, this dude looks like he's as well muscled as Otis, but he doesn't have any of the body fat percentage. Like, this dude is stacked and jacked now, and that's even a vast improvement over the last time he was in the WWE doing Rusev Day, where he was still carrying a lot of extra weight.
Yeah.
So he is jacked, and he looks every bit like he could go pound for pound with any of the biggest people in the WWE right now.
I agree.
But yeah, that was pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much all I really had to say about this particular match. He absolutely destroyed the Alpha Academy.
Yeah. But I will agree. I will agree that while I did see, while we don't agree on how badly Otis was beaten, I can agree that he did have a better showing in that match than he has in others that I've seen, where he did have pushback against Rusev, and I'm hoping that means that with Otis, they're planning to take the reins off. Like, this I don't understand why they haven't. Like, this guy, he maybe he isn't as fast as Brock. I wanted to say Lesnar, but you know I'm not talking about Lesnar. Braun Breaker. That's it.
Braun Breaker. Yeah.
Maybe he's not as fast as Braun Breaker, but I think he's just as strong. If not stronger.
If not stronger, yeah.
Like I feel like he has John Henry? Like, is that his name? John Henry? Like the
guy who drove the train nails against a machine? Or John that is John Henry, but I think you're referring to Mark Henry.
Mark Henry, that's what I'm looking for. Yes. Mark Henry. I think he's got that Mark Henry strength. I'm not saying he's as strong as Mark Henry, but I'm saying he's got like some strong man strength for sure. And they could totally use that. I mean, again, I know Rusev plays a part in running, like moving towards the stairs, but I don't think he needed to do much. I feel like Otis yeeted that dude across them stairs, or to them stairs, like whether you use your legs to assist or not, you're getting to them stairs.
Yeah, I agree. I think Otis is like, he's absolutely power lifter. He's not bodybuilder, he's power lifter.
Yeah.
And he looks like he has an incredible amount of muscle, but since he's been on a perpetual bulk like his entire life, he also carries a lot of body weight, like fat.
Yeah. But I mean, you could see like when he was doing a back and forth with Rusev in that match, there was a time where like they were like locked, their arms were locked, and Otis was taking a step back, and the muscle definition in his leg popped out. Like,
his legs are ridiculous.
Yeah. That dude, he's a powerhouse. He really is. And I maybe one day WWE goes, you know what? Let's take those reins off and let Otis do Otis for a few, and let's see where that goes. That'd be great. Because again, these dudes, none of these guys have like eternal contracts. Like, they won't be able to work for the rest of their lives doing this. Eventually, they're gonna have to stop. And while some wrestlers still go well into their 50s and 60s, that's not the norm. That's not the norm. Most guys cut out like at the end of their 40s. So, and maybe they stick around and do some managerial stuff. Maybe they do some more stuff like backstage, but they don't do in-ring work like they're doing now. So, limited time, man. Limited time for these guys to shine. And I think Otis is one of those guys, man. We're getting to the point where, yeah, we need to see. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him do the damn thing for once.
I completely agree. Is that true? I was trying to internet how old Otis is.
Mm-hmm.
And the number that came back, like, I was like, that can't be true. So now I'm double checking it. Really? Otis looks like he's, like, way older than 33.
He's only 33?
Exactly. That's why I had to double check it. I saw 33 come back and I'm like, what? No way.
Okay, well, I'll say this. He still doesn't have a whole bunch of time left. To just bullshit around with whatever storyline they want to give him. If I honestly, it would be really great before the dude retires or whatever. Because I mean, he's a bigger dude, and bigger dudes don't stay in the ring as long. They just don't.
Yeah, all the extra weight puts a lot more pressure on the joints and the bones and everything.
Exactly.
So there's just a higher likelihood of debilitating injury in the long
term.
run.
While he's still feeling himself at 33, and I'm sure he is, he won't feel the same way. Like, even 2 years makes a difference. You guys think I'm joking. It makes a difference. The older you get. So, he's getting to the point where he's going to probably want to start slowing down. So a push within the next 2 years would be pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. But I agree with you. I think the crowd is wanting to see Otis go over. They've been wanting to ever since he stood up against Chad Gable when Chad was being a douche. And so I think the crowd is ready to pop for the guy, as soon as he decides that he's a bulldog and not a poodle that happens to be in a bulldog's body.
We were fully on board for him and Chad Gable having a match, and we thought that would be the moment that Otis whooped Chad Gable's ass and solidifies himself as a real deal competitor in the ring, but that's not what happened. As a matter of fact, I think they had a match and he lost. I'm not sure if I remember that correctly, but I think that's how that went. So, can we give my man a push? And also, have Natalya and Maxine Dupree hug way more often, please. Thank you. That is all. And cameraman, you know how you put the camera on Sheamus's dying face for like 10 minutes while we watch them gasp for air and lose a part of his soul? Do that with the hug. Thank you.
These are sound recommendations the WWE needs to follow.
Yes. So, winner via submission and physical abuse, Rusev.
And physical abuse, Rusev.
Yeah. And that led us into the Gunther, Pat McAfee, and Adam Pearce segment. I don't know why Adam didn't need to be there, but whatever. Adam Pearce was there, I guess.
Yeah.
He didn't yell at them because no women came to the stage. He didn't feel like verbally abusing anybody.
No, he didn't tell them both to go sit down and shut up and wait for Daddy.
Oh Lord! Oh my God!
I mean, to quote CM Punk, "Stop me when I'm telling lies."
Oh no! Oh no! Lord! Yeah. Anyway, so Gunther, Pat McAfee. Adam Pearce is there just to introduce who is coming to the ring. He introduces the ring general, and he introduced Pat McAfee first, who got no music because apparently he doesn't have any music. Okay. And guys, don't you Google it either. He does not have any music. Okay.
None.
So let's go.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the
I
to
see what you did there.
to the topic at hand, which is them doing a face to face, Gunther and Pat McAfee. What did you think about the face to face here?
Well, I think it was good. I did think that Pat McAfee spent too much time like giving the rub to Omaha versus like dressing down Gunter. Like he
I
spent a
agree.
long time talking about the virtues of Omaha, Nebraska. And
He
it,
really
beyond a
did.
certain point, I was waiting for Gunter to be like, okay, what's that got to do with me? Because I was sitting
Yeah,
there thinking, all right, cool story. You know, usually you say like one nice thing to get a cheap pop, but he went down the list. Like I felt like I was given a history lesson of Omaha, Nebraska, and while that's cool, that's not what I'm watching Raw for. I got Google, dude. I can do it too. Um, we get it. You're the face in this scenario. But other than that, I felt like it was a pretty good promo. He goes on to make the point that Gunter's gotten jaded and he doesn't believe that Gunter finds this place to be a dream for him anymore. It's just a job. Whereas he is grateful for every bit of time. Anytime he walks into a WWE building, he gets jacked up about life. Um, and he pretty much made the point that, you know, if you got a problem with Michael, you got a problem with me. And he thinks that this new version of Gunter, this jaded, watered down version of Gunter, has gone SAWFT soft.
South. And Gunther, if I may,
You may.
Gunther says, and I'm gonna read this because my man was cold blooded. Actually, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say that he took a little tip from Jey Uso. Cause how did he start off his response? Did you enjoy your little daughter's birthday last week? I'm like, oh, what you doing, buddy? What you doing there, bruv? What you talking about? You're 2 years, right? It's cute. I bet it was a very special day for you because for me, Saturday is a very special day. I don't know how those two things tied in, but he just wanted to make sure that they tied in. And you just got me into the right mood for it. Because it's my first match since WrestleMania, and I'm going to show up sharp. I'm going to show up prepared. I'm going to show up more focused than ever before. Don't you worry that I'll overlook you. Don't you worry that I'll underestimate you. I promise you my full and undivided attention. Because on Saturday, that bell's going to ring, and I'm going to beat you up. I'm gonna maul you. I'm gonna get you by the head and drive it into this mat. I'm gonna choke you out until you drop like a wet towel. Tonight, by my grace, you are untouchable. But on Saturday, trust me when I say, on Saturday, only the grace of God can lift my arms off your throat. Mic drop.
Mic drop. It was good, but I feel like he totally ripped Jey Uso's promo against him leading
He
into
did.
WrestleMania.
He did.
But
He did.
it still works. I mean, if it works, why change it, right? Borrow,
Yeah.
that's fine. It was great. Gunter was at intensity level 25.
Yup.
And after he said that shit and he yeeted the microphone with prejudice into Pat McAfee looked legit shook. It was
Yeah.
good.
Pat McAfee had the gulp face.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Michael Cole, when Pat came back, he was like, you know, you having second thoughts or something like that.
Yeah. 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 Michael was like, well, I hope that Pat knows what he's doing. I don't think he does. I don't think he does, man. Oh, it was good though. It was good. But I think that's probably one of the better promos I've seen Gunther cut because it was short and sweet, and he covered all. So he is still a nightmare. I'm not kidding. If I were a wrestler, a dude, right? If I was a dude wrestler, I think the biggest concern, the biggest wrestler I would be concerned about fighting or having a match with would be Gunther. I wouldn't want those chops. Like I would not want the smoke. I would come there in smokeless underwear. I want nothing, sir.
Yeah, not them chops. Those things
Yeah.
literally turn you into hamburger.
Yeah, I do not want that. Please and thank you, good sir. You know? So yeah, he would be someone I'd be super super concerned about. Um, but yeah, that was a great little segment there. Um, and then after that, we got the again not a whole bunch took place at in between the fourth match and then the main event. We saw a video package for John Cena and Randy Orton. And at some point we see Roxanne Perez talking to Finn Balor in the backstage area, which made me excited. Again, super excited. Uh,
Yeah, do you think Finn is courting Roxanne Perez and possibly Julia to join the Judgment Day?
I think so, and I'm here for it. Unless he's asking her to do something, uh, for Judgment Day, where where she goes after Rhea when Rhea comes back or something, or she does some sort of, I don't know, does something. But I think he might just be talking to her to see about getting her into the Judgment Day. And I'd be here for it. That'd be pretty cool. She looks like Judgment Day material.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I mean, that was my first thought. My second thought is like, Finn, you're married. Stop it.
Oh God, please. I hope not. After that, after that, we find out that Becky Lynch is going to be appearing on the Raw Recap podcast. I mean, I don't know. There's no other podcast but us. And then next week on Raw, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley will battle Julia and Roxanne Perez. So that's
I'm looking forward to.
yeah. But you see, that's why I think that maybe that's what Finn was talking to her about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then AJ Styles collides with Finn Balor, and the War Raiders will clash with American Made. That's next week on Raw. Which led us into...
They got that put together quick. American
Yeah, they
Made
did.
versus the War Raiders. Wow.
Yeah, they did. Hey,
I guess
the
Pierce
champs
does some work.
Yeah, the champs make it happen. You know, when the champs speak, things happen. You know, puzzle pieces get to moving.
That must be that power and control that Heyman was talking about that Seth wants.
Yeah, it must be. It must be. And I don't blame him because Jey Uso is wielding a lot of power with that belt. He ain't wrong.
The power of the Yeet.
Speaking of the power of Yeet, that leads us to our fifth match of the night, the main event: Jey Uso versus Seth freaking Rollins, of course, accompanied by Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I'm just gonna say before, if you don't mind, just get my little bit out.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
This was a really good match. So I can say Creative does a great job at telling a story with Jey Uso. But they also do a great job at telling a story with Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman in this mix. Braun Breaker is just extra freaking wrestle candy. Like this, there's nothing bad here. Listen to everything involved here. Jey Uso, Seth freaking Rollins, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker. Merry Christmas, guys. Here you go.
Yeah. Yep.
Merry freaking Christmas. You are watching some of the best to ever do it right here. Seth Rollins, a goddamn delight. Probably, and I'm not joking when I say that I think he's probably one of the best to ever do it. I feel like Seth Rollins is an overall total package. He is a superstar. And I feel like Jey Uso is the same. Now, I don't think they're on the same level. I think that Seth Rollins is a much more put together technical wrestler. His moves are on point. And I think Jey Uso is a little bit more free flowing. He's a little bit more out there with it. He isn't as like, I gotta get precise with something. He's kind of a bit more rough around the edges. But that's not a bad thing. These two together in a match, amazing. There was one part, and I have to talk about that. There's one part where Jey Uso is going for the spear, and instead Seth jumps and counters it with oh god, what is that name of that? What's the name of that move? You know what move I'm talking about? The pedigree. Thank you. And that man. So Seth, just like the RKO that Randy Orton throws, Seth always comes up with really creative ways to either get the stomp in or the pedigree in, and this was one of those times. It was one of those where I was like, "Oh shit!" Like,
it
just
looks
looks so cool. I mean, it will again, and that's what I mean when I say that he is much more precise, much more of a technical wrestler, because it took great brain math, to do exactly what he did at the exact time. He had to jump at the right amount of time. Like, everything had to be in its place for that move to work, and it was. It's probably one of the I could make that a GIF. Like, that was just so cool to me.
Yeah, good stuff. The pedigree as a counter to a spear is inspired. That is such a great way to counter the spear.
Yeah, and he had countered the spear earlier with that. Like he countered the spear, and I think he did a buckle bomb after that. Rollins went for a frog splash. I mean, like, they were doing everything. At the second time, so Rollins blocks the spear the first time, then he does the buckle bomb, and then he goes for a frog splash, but Jay ducks out of the way of that. But then Jay goes for the spear, and Rollins counters with the pedigree for a 2 count. I'm like, God damn, this is fucking yes. Yeah, clap. Let's go.
No, this was a banger of a match. I agree.
Jay avoids the curb stomp. Like, there was a whole bunch of like counter to counter. It was like I was playing 2K25. Like there was a counter to a counter. I'm just hitting Y in my head over and over again. I'm pounding on the Y button. Like, come on, Jay. Like, they're doing like they're and then it gets to a point, like, towards the end of the match, where literally Jey Uso does the spear. He does the super kick. Then he goes for the frog splash. Connects on all of them. Fucking Rollins kicks out. What? And then Rollins gets in the ring. He does the curb stomp. He does everything to Jay, and we're thinking, oh no, this is it. And then CM Punk music hits, and I'm like, I've never been. I'm a little nauseous saying this. I've never been so happy to see CM Punk. Oh god. Ooh, sorry, that took a lot out of me. But he came at the perfect time, so I'm like, oh shit, because I didn't think that he was coming out. I thought that we would see Sami Zayn come out. That's what I thought we were. Well, we did, yeah. But I mean, what I'm saying is, I was not trying to give it away. I was trying to just say that I thought it was gonna be him first, but instead I believe it was CM Punk first. Am I right about that? Oh, was Sammy's there? Did Sami Zayn come out first?
Sammy first.
So I went backwards. So Sammy came out first, and I was very happy to see Sammy. But then there was a point where I believe Brock, Jesus Christ, Braun speared Sammy to Jesus. Like, he speared him, and then Sammy's body, instead of going back and down, just went up. It just went back and up, and he just, like, basically ascended to heaven. I think he might still be there. I'm not sure. But no, he came down. He did come down from heaven eventually. His spirit came back into his body. But then CM Punk came out, and honestly, again, I'm not gonna say it again. You guys know how I felt about CM Punk coming out, all right? Don't make me say it again. Long story short, this was a really good match. It was really good. It was really fun. It was high octane. And CM Punk came out, and first of all, he threw the chair into Breaker's face. But then he comes back in with the chair and just freaking beats the snot out of Rollins with the chair. Now, they say that the referee called the match, but he didn't.
Yeah.
The referee
No,
just threw his hands up and rolled out the ring.
Yeah, because we were listening for it. We were like, "Where's the bell?" Because we thought for sure once Punk stormed into the ring, we would hear the bell.
That was going to be it.
I didn't hear a bell, so we're like, "The match is called, right? Like it's DQ'd, right?"
Yeah. So that was very strange, but eventually, we realized that the match was over. We just didn't hear the ding ding ding. We just saw the ref like go throw up his hands, and he rolls out of the ring, and he's like waving his hands at the ring like screw this. But I saw him not do the how they turn to the bell and they just start doing the like ring the bell gesture.
Yeah, they signal that it's they give the hand signs that lets the timekeeper in the ring bell area hit the bell.
Yeah, he didn't do any of that. So, but we realized that the match was thrown out because Sami Zayn rolls back into the ring to check on Jay in the corner. CM Punk is standing there tall with his chair that he used to murderate everyone. And that was that. And I know I said that I was going to do my little bit, but I ended up talking way more about this match.
That's because you were hyped for it.
It was so good. It was so good. And I got pretty much all of it correct, except for the fact that I said CM Punk came up before Sammy, which, sorry guys. Anyway, that's how I thought about the match.
Well, it was a great match. It really was. The story being told here that I felt was very good is that Rollins, they made a point as they were getting started to say that in the singles matchups, there's 3 other times that Jay has faced off against Rollins, and he has not won any of them. And so getting into this, you can clearly see that Rollins is like, he's dealing with Jay like he's dealing with the lapdog of Roman Reigns. And throughout the match, they immediately start throwing, like from in the first part of the match, they start throwing out their big hits or trying to. Each one of them is being countered. And, we see Rollins realizing that he has underestimated, the performer that Jay has become.
I think it was that slap. Remember that slap that he gave him that knocked him back?
The taste out of his mouth. Yeah, but that's not the only thing. Like, there was an escalation. The way this match built up, they're trying to hit their big moves, and they're getting countered. And then kind of in the middle part of the match, some of their stuff starts landing. And then by the end, they're kicking out of each other's biggest offense.
Yeah, like, insane.
There was a point where Jay took the stomp full on and kicked out at 2. But there was also a point where Rollins got the spear into the Uso splash and kicked out at 2. So there was this buildup of them attempting the moves, them succeeding at the moves, and it doesn't go anywhere, and then them trying to recalibrate and figure out what else is it going to take for me to beat this guy. And there's a whole lot of Rollins, like, we could hear him when he was outside the ring, and it was like, there's a reason this guy's champ, and you see this realization Rollins has of, like, Jay is not just a tag guy, and he's certainly not any longer just a minion of Roman Reigns. Jay is his own whole package at this point. And so I thought that was excellent storytelling with the match, within the match. It was very well done. And you got to see, like, the highlight reel of these two guys. Like, we got to see Rollins hit the pedigree. We got to see Rollins hit more than one stomp. We got to see Rollins hit the wonderful, like, superplex into a Falcon Arrow, amongst other things. And so this is a really solid match between these two guys until inevitably Braun Breaker is taken off of the leash and told to interfere. And it starts out with some minor interference at first, which brings Sami Zayn to the ring. And so Sami comes out there to be the counter, the foil for Braun Breaker. And these two guys, like, they're setting the stage that Braun and Sami hate each other. So Braun ends up, like, spearing the bejesus out of Sami Zayn. After Zayn had thrown him kind of like he punched it. What was it? Sami Zayn's music hits and Braun comes around the ring to try and intercept him near the entrance ramp. But Sami doesn't come down the entrance ramp. Sami, like, leaps like an assassin from Assassin's Creed over the barricade and just starts beating Braun's face in and throws him into the ring buckle post and into the barricade. But it's not too long after that that Braun Breaker recovers and spears the ever-loving shit out of Sami Zayn because Zayn was looking at what's happening in the ring because he's trying to help Jay not lose here. And then Braun kind of slinks off to the side, and Jay gets distracted. You even said it, Jay, focus on the match. Jay comes out to check on Sami Zayn, and that's when Braun Breaker runs back out from behind the ring and spears the snot out of Jay Uso. And so it's looking real bad for Jay and Sami. And it wasn't long after that we see CM Punk come to the ring to interfere. And like Paul Heyman's face hits the floor, and Seth just looks like, oh crap. And
now I do. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but you reminded me when you said what you said about that the spear that Braun gave to Jay. Now I saw a difference in how he speared Sami, because he speared Sami like he really does not like Sami, like legit. And then when they recapped the spear that he gave Jay, it looked like he was like, I'm going to spear you, more gentle, but then delicately lay you down. There you go.
Yeah. He's like, I ain't trying to kill Jay.
He was like, spear, lay down.
But it still looked like a good enough spear.
Yes, it did. But for Sami, he was like, hey, fuck you. Like,
yeah, he definitely gave Sami the screw you spear.
Yeah.
But then the way it plays out after that is Braun tries to meet CM Punk in the entranceway, and CM Punk's coming there with the chair. As you said, he tosses it straight into Braun Breaker's face. And then he runs past him. He's like, yeah, handled. And he gets into the ring. I think he did end up picking the chair back up because he gets into the ring and he just lays into Seth. And then Breaker, who's trying to recover from having his face cracked, gets in the ring, and then he lays into Breaker. And yeah, that's when all hell broke loose that you kind of recapped. And it just ends up being Punk with Jay and Sami, standing tall over this new faction. And you're hearing Seth scream at Breaker, like, not tonight, we'll get him another night. And it was just a banger of a match. Like, normally I'm really disappointed in no contest matches, like, especially if it was a really good match to begin with. But I think this just lays future groundwork. And I mean, it would be unreasonable to expect that we're not going to see interference from both Sami. Like, we said that at the beginning, like, before the match started. Sami is obviously going to come down and try and, make his presence felt for this match. Yeah. What we didn't expect, because I was like, thinking, is it going to be Roman? Is it going to be CM Punk? And it was CM Punk. CM Punk shows up, and it was a fantastic main event. It was really good.
Yeah, I agree.
So, having recapped the entirety of this episode, what would you rate WWE Raw?
Well, there were, in all honesty, no bad matches. And if we're going to use the same scoring system that we used for Friday Night SmackDown, I'm going to have to say this was definitely top tier. There was nothing that I didn't like about this episode. The promos were good. The matches were good. The only reason that I'm not going to give it like the perfect 10 is because it's a Monday night. I'm sorry. Monday Night Raw episode. I'd definitely give this a 9. At least a 9 Nick Dubs. It was really good. Like, I really, honestly, I can't think of anything bad to say about it. I got nothing to critique the show about, and I think even towards the end there, off the air, I think Karrion Kross cut a promo. I think, or that may have been.
There was. I think Kathy Kelly had an off-air promo with him where she asks him, do you think Sami Zayn made the right choice? And it was an excellent promo because he was all in character. And he's like, well, Kathy, do you think so? And she's like, well, the choice wasn't given to me. And he's like, cop out.
Yeah.
It was great. I think it's only available if you look on WWE's channel on YouTube, but it's well worth the watch. He's selling his Killer Cross character.
He is.
Super hardcore.
That's brilliant. He absolutely should. Yeah. And call out your fans, man. I'm one of them. I'm a fan. So call out your fans, shout out to them, and get them to cheer for you when you get on that mic. Play this shit up. Pull an LA Knight and play it. Honestly. So yeah.
Additionally, that wasn't the only kind of off-air thing. Like, because I don't think his was like after they had gone off air. I think it was like during a commercial break or something, because the whole crowd was still there and everything. But apparently, there was something that transpired once the show went off the air. Apparently, as Jay was leaving the ring after this match, he was, yeeting and high-fiving with the fans, and Logan Paul, dressed in like a hoodie, pretending to be one of the fans, just clocked him and laid him out. And then he jumped over the barricade and took out running because he was being chased off by Punk and Zayn at that point. But he had done the damage. Jey Uso was laid out flat. So Logan Paul did, in fact, show up. It just happened after the show went off the air.
Hilarious. You love to see it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I'll be real surprised if they don't end up officially declaring
like
Jey
what's
Uso
the problem?
and Logan for Backlash. But my review is very much in the same place as yours. All the matches were good, all the promos were good, and there was some stuff that even happened off air and after the show went off the air that was very good. I'm gonna give this anywhere between an 8.5 and a 9. It was all cylinders firing appropriately.
Yeah,
like this is them at the top level, and hopefully, they can share some of that booking and writing with SmackDown, because SmackDown is anywhere between a point to a point and a half lower, sometimes falling out of top tier. So I'm hoping, share some of the wealth there, Raw. But Raw was firing on all cylinders. Absolutely excellent show. Top tier.
Agreed.
That said, that concludes our coverage of WWE RAW from 5/5. And I want to thank everybody who joined us for this episode. I invite you to join us again for our next episode, which, if nothing else, will be our coverage of Friday Night SmackDown, and then we will probably also have an episode for Backlash. Until then, I don't think there's much left for me to do but roll the outro.
Bye, guys! Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Top Tier Wrestling. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the latest AEW and WWE news and shows. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. Follow us on social media for updates and to join the conversation. Until next time, everyone, remember, wrestling is always better when it's top tier.